Welcome back, babies. It is your girl AJ up in the building. What's good? So in my last video, I told you guys I won HTV RONT handheld, and I make sure I tell you guys handheld because I don't want you to get a little bit confused. Handheld hat press. So we unboxed it in the last video, and today we'll be testing it out on a hat. So I ended up actually finding one in my husband's room. Don't tell him I stole it, but I ended up finding one, and I decided a little saying, a little dope humor on there. So do not come in me like in the comments saying, girl, that's a little bit, we are grown over here, okay? Like, let's be for real, like, come on now. Some adult humor to put on there that I decided would be so freaking cute. So we have a red, no, we don't have a red hat, it's green. I don't know why I thought it was red, I'm thinking of another color. We have a green hat that we'll be pressing today, and we're going to be using the HTV RONT hat press, you guys. So I have it in this pretty color, and I'm so happy they actually sent me this color. This color is so pretty. So this is the hat press right here. It is a handheld hat press. This is so pretty. Now, when you order, if I'm not mistaken, you'll get it directly from China. It took at least about 2 to 3 days. It came so fast after they told me that I won. This is how it looks. It do have a part that goes on top of here, but I took it off so you guys could see. This is how it looks. So this black piece right here, or black part, will be showing you your time and your temperature, and then you have your power settings, and then up in the plus and the minus sign to increase your power or the heat. And we also had a little baggie. This little baggie is so freaking cute. Now, today I will be actually testing out 2 different types of vinyl, just because it says it could do puff vinyl, regular vinyl, sublimation, flock, whatever. The thing said they could do it. And I just feel like I can't just do regular HTV because we won't really know. So let's try out puff vinyl. Let's actually try it out. Now, I will actually be using my settings for this white vinyl myself because I'm so used to vinyl being in certain settings. I'm going to use what I like. Puff vinyl, I'm going to follow the instructions that they give me because they said it could be used for puff vinyl. So I'm going to follow y'all instructions. Now, both of these vinyls came from Heat Transfer Warehouse. We have white, just white HTV vinyl, and this is the Heat Transfer Warehouse puff black vinyl. It doesn't look black, but it's black, okay? And we'll actually be pressing both of these, not 1, 2. And we're going to test out how it works with vinyl, regular HTV vinyl, and how it works with puff vinyl. Does it actually works at all? Do anything stick to this hat? Or is it like just something that you guys are marketing as something that is profitable, somebody should be using? So I'm going to let you guys know today, is it worth it or not? And this probably will be a first of many videos to let you guys know before y'all make our purchase, because it is on pre-sale right now. You guys have time to decide if this is something you want or not. And I'm gonna keep it real with y'all, okay? Like, I got it for free. I don't have to sit here and lie to anybody. Like, I'm being honest. Y'all already know me. I'm gonna keep it a G over here. I'm not gonna lie to y'all to go buy anything. I don't care who I work with, who works with me, who wants me to promote anything. If it doesn't work, I'm gonna let y'all know. Don't get it. We ain't gonna hide it over here. We gonna tell the truth over here, okay, y'all? We ain't gonna lie. So I'm gonna let y'all know, is this thing worth it or like what? Because to be honest, I've always been a hat press person, like a hat press, just because when I had the Cricut little handheld press, trash. When I say it was trash for $150, girl, I wish I had got my money back, because that thing was a waste of my freaking time. A waste of my time. I had it in like 2 days, it was broke. So I'm gonna be honest with y'all, let y'all know, is this thing even worth it? Because I'm not gonna tell y'all go spending y'all money. Crafters, this is already a hard business, and we are the ones that literally buy all our machines. I'm gonna let you know, because I know we love when we see it. We gotta have it. We got to. So I'm gonna let y'all know if you really actually need it or you don't need this thing at all. Like, come on now. Like, I know how we are, okay? So let's go ahead and get started with today's video. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. So I did cut out my vinyl, as you can see already. And I did that without, like, you know, recording it. I didn't want to do extra. And sorry y'all had the kids. The kids are in there playing something. This is the hat we got, you guys. So it is a snapback flat bib hat that we're going to be testing out. I actually found this in my house. I was so happy. So I did like play around with this yesterday just to play around and learn some settings. So that's why y'all saw me post a like short yesterday just playing around with it. But I'm going to do this on camera with you guys so y'all can also see the hat and just the process of it. You know me, I'm going to show y'all everything. So this is the hat right here. So to actually test this out, I feel like I'm going to do two different things. Like I told you guys, I have regular HTV and I also have puff HTV. Now, this heat press says that it can actually do both. Is it true? I don't know yet. We're going to find out together. So the first thing we're going to do is actually weed the vinyl. So I got my little pen. This is my favorite weeding tool that I got from Tech Wrap. I believe it's also on Amazon, you guys, so check it out. So we're going to do this and then we'll be pressing the hat. And honestly, to be honest, we probably could also start heating it up as we weed in this, so that way it is ready to go. So we're going to go ahead and put this underneath. And while I'm doing that, I'm also going to like do this back piece and make sure it is on here tight, because you have to snap the back piece in. So let's go ahead and do that. Just to make sure nothing is moving and it's fully on here. All right. So everything that we're doing today, this is just me and like what works for me, or just like settings for me and my opinions. Most of all, I want you guys to understand these are my opinions. So this little foam piece that comes with the hat press, and I want to make sure I always say this, handheld hat press, it goes inside of your hat. So this in there now, and this right here is the hat press, handheld hat press. So I'm gonna go ahead and open this up. Sorry if y'all hear the kids, like I said, they're playing, and we're gonna take this off. This right here is actually like a dome that you're gonna sit your hat on. So place the hat there. I meant the dome there. And then you put your head there. It's almost like a firm type of pressure there that helps you out, because you are pressing down, you're pressing down on this hat. So this is also like helping, because it just gives it some stability. Make sure it's on there. So because we're going to be pressing this one, I'm gonna have to I want to move it up just a little bit. All right, so the hat is ready to go, so that way we can press it. It's sitting on like it's almost on somebody's head. And then I'm gonna go ahead and plug this in too, so that way while we weeding, everything will be ready to go. Give me 1 second to plug this in. I got the heat press plugged in. At the moment, it did make a beeping noise. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and press the power button right here. So I have it at 315. So I'm doing regular HTV first, because puff, I feel like you should do last. So I'm gonna press the settings button. It's look just like a setting button and just everything else. Regular settings button. I'm gonna go ahead and press it. Now, if you press it, it blinks twice, and you can change your settings. So I feel like for regular HTV, you always do like 315. So I'm just gonna leave it there. Press your settings button again, and then you have the time. I have it on 20 seconds. I'm doing mine like regular HTV. I'm actually just gonna do what I feel is good for HTV, and that's just my opinion. Now, it does come with a menu that tells you what you could use, but I'm gonna do what I'm used to doing. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but I like to do what I'm used to doing. Let's go ahead and weed the vinyl. I'm gonna try to fast forward this for you guys, so you don't have to probably be through the whole process with me. Just because weeding takes some time. Now, as I'm weeding this, I'm also just going to kind of give you my just opinion on some things, just like how I feel about it. Just because I'm thinking about like design concept and everything like that with this hat press. For one, I do feel like if you're running a business and you are doing hats often, then this may not be for you. And that's just the honest truth. And I'm saying that just because I feel like if you're running a business and you have to knock out 50 hats or something, I feel like you just rather like use a hat press. And those hat presses just like a regular heat press. You know, you put it on, it has the pressure for you and everything like that. It's not much you really have to sit here and do. Versus with this, off the rip, it's handheld. Keyword is why I always say handheld hat press. You are using your hand to put the pressure that you need. And that could be a lot for like somebody that's doing 50 hats at once, if you get what I'm saying. It can be a lot. So because of that, I just say, like, if you have a hat business or you know you're going to be doing hats like often, it can be very time consuming. That you probably shouldn't want to do it. I'd rather you get a hat press. And that's just my honest opinion. For like a crafter, yes, it's cool to have. Definitely like for smaller hats, like if you think of like beanie for kids or something, yeah, it might actually be cool, but you can also use a regular heat press. So, you know, is it really worth the price of paying for a handheld hat press versus just getting a regular hat press? I don't know. That's kind of going to be up to you, but my opinion, I just think if you're running a business around hats, I wouldn't do it. If you just doing this like every hats now and then and you don't have a hat press at all, you're doing every hats now and then hey, this will be good for you. Definitely like starting out, this is a great beginner machine, I feel like. And that's just for me like looking at it and knowing like all the information about it. Oh goodness, that piece is so tiny. Love this little pen tool. It just acts just like a pen, so it's quick and easy. Poke, peel, poke, peel, poke, peel. Hate when that happens, like it get one piece stuck to it. Alright, so this is the regular HTV vinyl that we have right here. The regular one that's ready to go. I already just put that there. If I'm not mistaken, I did 3x3 for my design area. And I also took my mat off, as y'all see, just because I did not want to heat press my mat and have my mat hot and lean in, because I have done that to my other mats before. This right here is the puff vinyl, and both of these vinyls are from Heat Transfer Warehouse. I love Heat Transfer Warehouse puff vinyl. I haven't really tried anybody else puff vinyl. Heat Transfer Warehouse is just like my go-to for my puff vinyl. I haven't had an issue with it. And I think for like this hat, it'd probably be cool and different. Like a puff vinyl type of hat. And the reason I'm testing out the puff, like I told you guys, is because I want to see, like, is this thing really worth it? Like, you say it could do puff vinyl. Let's see if it can, because honestly, you probably just need to buy yourself a hat press, because this thing cannot do puff vinyl like they said it can. And y'all know I'm not gonna lie to you. We're gonna really do it together and really test this thing out. All right. Boom, boom. So I'm actually show y'all what it says. Tape it down. Now this is a little bit grown people adult funny humor, but dad in the sheets, daddy in the streets, daddy in the sheets. Just a little bit of funny little humor, I feel like. We are all adults here, so it's just a little bit of funny humor. All right. So here we go. We have our hat ready to go. This is our design. The last thing you will also need for this is heat transfer tape, because you have to place this where you need it to go, because if not, it will shift. Okay, it's going to shift. You have to remember that it's going to shift, just because you are pressing down on this with your hand. It's nothing holding anything together. So because of that, it will shift, you guys. All right, so I'm gonna actually like get on my knees just a little bit, so y'all may see my head up in the way. Give me 1 second, just because I want to make sure this is centered the right way. And I'm gonna do puff last, so I got everything together, but puff is gonna be last. My biggest thing is just worry about making sure everything is where it needs to be at. Like I said, I did this like 3 inches wide by 2 inches for the height. Okay. But then I'm going to bring it down some more, because if I do it on there, the dad will be on the brim. So I'm going to tape the white first, the regular HTV vinyl. Got my heat transfer tape. And I think you just want to make sure this thing is fully like covered and holding down. So let's get our tape together. This is regular heat transfer tape that I use on sublimation and everything like that. Now, I don't know how this would do with sublimation, just because, you know, I haven't tested out the sublimation one, and we would test that out, how to find a sublimation head. But for me, just from me understanding sublimation, I just feel like sublimation takes a lot of work. When you're pressing it, you need like so much pressure. So I just don't think it would do that well, just because you have to press it. It may like actually work. It's gonna come down to you, because you have to sit here and actually push it in and press it how you need it to go. So I'm trying to make sure that this is on and tight. Don't be stingy with that tape. And I think that's probably like another thing, is making sure this is fully taped tight, because the tape is making sure it doesn't shift. So if the tape is not on here tight, the design will shift. Like, and I learned that from that Cricut Easy Press. Child, please. That Cricut little mini press, honey, that thing was trash. I remember I brought it, I think it was like $150, y'all. It broke in like 2 days. It was making like bzzz, and it never got hot no more. I was like, how in the world did it break? I barely used it. I used it one time, it broke. Like, literally used it one time, it worked. Then after that, I was trying to use it again, and it broke. All right. Ooh, yeah, I'm on my knees. Give me 1 second. Ooh, gotta get back up. Here we go. Right here, we have it taped. As much tape as possible, just to make sure we ain't being a little stingy with the tape. Now the next thing is making sure it's on there tight. And the reason I'm putting so much tape is because I want to make sure this tight enough. Now, I'm not gonna lie, even the tape process, you're gonna do that tape process the same way if you're doing a hat press. So let's not even act like the tape is new, because you do this same thing if you're doing a hat press. You're gonna have to tape it too, because it can shift too. So don't get this part like, oh my gosh, that's so much tape. You're gonna do the same thing if you was doing a hat press. And I'm saying because I have one. I have the V4 hat press. All right. Just making sure nothing's moving. Here we go. We're gonna test this thing out. All right, it say hold the power button for like 2 seconds. And then from there, it's going to count down. I do think with this, you definitely got to do like this movement. You can't just stay on one side. You got to do the movement at the same time of having that pressure into there, if you get what I'm saying. So do the movements. You just can't press on one side. Like, I'm not going to lie to y'all. You need to make sure you are moving around. I don't know, that bottom part I just feel like didn't go. So just to be sure. And then you can also do like this push-in method. That's the part. And this will come down to, because as y'all see, I'm pushing into it. If I'm doing 30 hats, I don't want to be pushing into something. Like, that's a lot of work. Pushing my arm in, I'm not hurting my arm, trying to make sure this is holding and pushed all the way in. I'm gonna let it cool down for a few before we actually peel this design. So we're gonna let it cool down just a little bit. It has cooled down. Let's peel now. And we're gonna do slow just to make sure that it actually did stick. So let's go slow. Look at that. Okay. So you guys, it did stick, and I did 315 for 20 seconds. And let's be honest, we did what? We added 10 more seconds, so 315 for 30 seconds. Now, HTV RONT, they have a menu. And in this menu, they actually say do 293 for 15 seconds with a cold peel. right up here, it actually tells you to do the opposite of what I just did and to lower your temperature. This is what HTV RONT tells you. Now, yesterday I did it on a hat and I followed their directions. That did not work. So like I just said, I would do a little bit higher than that. And honestly, y'all know me. I always don't, I just never listen. Y'all know me. It's like, let's not even act like, oh, that's not new. I never listen what these people tell me. I always do the opposite. So let's be real about it. I don't copy what they say. I do my own thing. Okay? Oh my gosh. I play too much. Okay? I'm so funny. So we're going to do puff heat transfer vinyl. So usually when you're doing puff vinyl, you're doing like 315. And you're doing like 15 seconds, 20 seconds. So we're going to try to stick that, like stick to that, stick to that, stick to that. Now I'm going to get back because I want to make sure I'm also evening this out one more time because they are like two different sheets. So I may have to cut this one just because they are two different sheets. I'm going to go ahead and cut it. Get my tape ready because we already know we're going to have to do taping. And I think the biggest thing with this to actually get something to press, don't be stingy with that tape, okay? It don't cost that much. You get them in a bundle. Sometimes it's 6, sometimes it's 5. Don't be stingy with the tape, okay? God, y'all be stingy with y'all tape. And then y'all be getting mad at me. Why you wearing so much tape? Girl, it's my tape and I brought it. Don't be stingy with the tape, honey, okay, babies? Don't be stingy. It's just tape. It's not that expensive. It's just some tape and you're buying it as a bundle, so it's not like you buying one each. Don't be stingy with that tape, honey. It's really not that serious. Like, let's be real about it. Some of y'all be acting like it be like life or death. It's not life or death. It's just tape. Like, it's literally just tape. So, and if I sound crazy, my bad, you guys. I am laying on the, like, not laying on the floor. I'm sitting on the floor just because I want to, like, eyeball this to make sure it's even and not nothing's crooked. Because I'm not, you know, it's not above me. It's, like, laying straight in front of me. So, don't worry. Now, because how small this is, I may have to do, like, a cut in between the dab part at the top. Just so that way it's, like, move some. Instead of just going straight and to give it like some room to actually bend. And you could do this sometimes when you're doing stuff. It actually helps like just cutting through there like that. Because it actually like open it up just a little bit more than what it was to actually wrap around something like this. Alright, so I just told y'all a tip, okay? You better remember that tip. And for hats, it's usually when you use it, like it definitely helps for hats. All right, let's get one more tape on this side to make sure that baby is taped down. Make sure it's even. Because, Dad, you look a little high on one side and low on the other side. We don't want crooked Dad. We want Dad. All right. And, you know, if you was doing one color, it would have been, like, much easier. But for you guys, we're testing this thing out. And I'm going to find me like a hat, sublimation hat, and that way we can actually test out sublimation too. And y'all can also see for yourselves, is it worth it for sublimation or what? Y'all know me, we're going to test it out. Ain't gonna be no line over here. All right, let's put a split in between here also. So that way everything is getting moved over. And if you're doing that, please, y'all don't cut your stuff. All right, I'm now on the floor. The things I do for y'all, because I'm not laying on the floor just for y'all. God, y'all know I got some love for y'all because, girl, I'm on my flow for y'all. Godly. Alrighty. Hold this down to make sure nothing gonna move. That shift over too much. Okay. Let's get that tape at the bottom of the whole entire design too. Don't be stingy, it's just tape. Don't be stingy, it's just tape. I say that probably the biggest worry is just make sure right now that that is not Cricut. But you know what? For y'all, we're gonna go with it, okay? Woo! Alright, so we have the puff vinyl now on here too. Puff vinyl, we done did HTV vinyl, now we got puff vinyl. Because we already have HTV already out, we're going to get a piece of parchment paper and put on top of here to protect the heat press from the HTV sticking to it because it's already been pressed on here, so there's no cover on here. I'm going to hold this one back. And we're just going to put this on. And we got to lower down the temperature, so we got it at 315. Go to the settings buttons. Press the negative or minus, and we're going to take it down. I'm going to do 310. Press the setting buttons again, and I'm going to do 15. Now, we're doing 310. This is another thing because HTV RONT tells you like 392 or 311. This goes up by 5s, not 1s. So it's kind of weird that they tell you that. It's kind of weird to me. Alrighty. Y'all ready to press? Y'all ready to press? Y'all ready to press? You're ready to press, baby, baby. I kind of want to bend this a little bit just because. There we go. And honestly, so that way I'm not holding the parchment paper. I'm going to actually put some heat transfer tape on the parchment paper so it can hold down. And I'm not really holding the parchment paper. That's a lot of work trying to hold the parchment paper, and we also got to do some rubbing. Let's think smart over here. So I'm just going to take the parchment paper down so that way it's holding on, and that way we can actually move without being like worried about holding that. All right, it's set to 310. I'm going to move this up, like the hat up to like an angle. Let's go, y'all. All right, I don't think it's going to cover everything. Let's go ahead and press. Hold the power button for your settings and push. Push in, baby. Push in. Push. 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 I believe right now I'm only doing dad and not daddy. So I will move down just to do that part because I don't think that part is getting pressed. Okay. Just to be sure. Let's do the second part. Because I only did dad, not daddy. So I'm going to actually move it just a little bit just because daddy is wrapped around. And go ahead and finish it. Now let's take the parchment paper off. See, one thing about puff I love, you are able to see puff. And you are able to know if it puffed or not. So before I take it off, I want y'all to see, like, do you think it puffed or not? Y'all ready to find out? All right, let's find out together. So it did puff. Y'all, daddy moved. I don't think it moved, but I think I placed the Cricut. And I said I was trying not to. But it did puff. Now, I think for this, their settings of 315 is probably just too much just because the dab part in between these lines just did not show that well. And it could also be just the font that we're using. Now, even with puff, I usually always go back in and just do that final press. And I'm going to do the same thing here just because, oh, it's stuck. I always do it just to make sure the heat press is like actually heating everything up and everything actually stays. Now, I think the reason it also could be doing that is because, you know, we are moving it. Okay. So, we are done. This is how it came now. Dad in the streets, daddy in the sheets. Now, daddy went slanted, and honestly, I'm going to blame that on me just because, as y'all see, I'm the one that placed that on there. It wasn't like on anything together. I placed it on there from the way that I was looking from sitting on the floor. But the question is, did this press? Yes, it did press. everything went over. It was smooth. It wasn't like too stressful, anything about it. The machine is actually very good. It moves very well with the settings that it has. The power button, the settings button is kind of very simple and not so hard to understand. My biggest thing, like I said, I believe is your pressure, because at the end of the day, you are controlling your pressure to this. Now, my opinion on this, I truly believe for like a beginner, this can be good for you and also bad for you. Okay? It could be good and bad for you, because as a beginner, you are learning your pressure. You are learning the pressures of your machines, everything like that. So learning that your hand is your pressure and you have to do it a certain way, that may be a little bit hard for you. But also, I think it also is good because it also teaches you to learn these type of things, because as a small business owner, you're not going to always have these high quality machines, because a lot of these things cost money. It's people that got $1,000 heat presses that cost literally thousands of dollars, and you know, it pulls out, it drops down, it's automatic, it's amazing. But guess what? If that press were to break, what you're going to do? You get what I'm saying? Like, what you're going to do then? And I feel like for something like this will come in handy. So I do think this is like, it's very cool to have, and it will help you. And as a small business owner, somebody that's starting out, yes, this is a beginner friendly machine, and it can help you actually grow. Is this for somebody that's doing hats as a business? I don't know about that. I don't believe this is for somebody that's actually making 30 hats at one time, just because your arm is going to get tired because you're pushing, you're like actually into this hat, and you got to stand here and you have to like sit on the floor or hold this hat in your hands to make sure it's even. But once you get it on the, you know, the foam or this, it may not be even no more, versus a hat press where you could see it standing above and it's already placed on there with the like stretch of the hat and everything like that. So that's my opinion on it. I'm gonna actually let you guys see it up close. It did very well. Like I said, the issue probably was just a puff, and that honestly is gonna come down to like practicing and taking some time, I feel like. So that's kind of just gonna be up to you. I definitely think yeah, okay, sorry about it. I definitely think the puff vinyl is going to take some time in learning your settings. And let's be real, puff vinyl for any heat press, let's literally be real, it takes time to learn it, because even for the regular hat press, the regular heat press, sometimes your puff is not puffing like it should be puffing. Let's literally be honest. So I'm not so like disappointed, like, oh my gosh, it didn't like really puff like how I wanted it. It puffed, but at the same time, we just probably have to play around with the settings for this to learn it, because on every heat press and hat press, I really believe puff vinyl is just a hard thing to actually do all the time, and you may have some issues when it comes down to that puff actually puffing. But regular HTV, it did it. It literally pressed. We was able to peel it and no problem. And we did what, we did 320 for 20 seconds. Honestly, let's say 30 seconds, because we added some time to it, and it pressed without a problem. It peeled. It was beautiful. It was a nice peel. Even the puff peeled beautiful. It was nice. The only thing is, just because I believe it didn't really have a puff to it like it should have. And that also could also just be, you know, this type of font. The font was probably too big for it. When the D went inside, it just like covered up the D. And even for the A, so the font cost to be an issue, because you have to put the right type of font with puff. So you also got to think about things like that, because this is a smaller design than a regular shirt. So let me know y'all opinions on what y'all think about this, and how did the hat turn out. Would you think about ordering you one? Do you think it's worth it? Now, do not mind the daddy part, because like I said, I messed it up. I have it crooked. It was me, nobody else's fault. And that still will come down to just you and how you place it on there and how you hold it. So let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. All right, y'all, we are done. Now that we are done, I want you guys to let me know, what do you actually think about this hat press? This is the final design right here. This is the final hat. Like I said, the daddy part is me. If it's a little bit off, that's just me. Now, dyed in black is puff and white is regular HTV vinyl. Now, like I said, for the puff vinyl, it didn't do too bad, but it actually didn't do as well as I thought it was gonna be. And that's also because I pressed it too hard probably, but I don't think it did a great job how it's advertised for her vinyl. I did do their settings, and like even now I don't see the puff. You get what I'm saying? And honestly, let's be real, puff is a little bit hard to actually master, and I haven't did puff vinyl on a hat before, so this is my first time. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, doing puff vinyl. So honestly, I would say probably give this one more try of puff vinyl. We probably got to try this one more time, but right now for puff vinyl, not so good. Let's be real, not so good for the puff vinyl. You guys let me know what you guys think about the puff. It actually did get on the hat, as we see. It did press to the hat. Everything pressed to the hat, so that is a plus. The vinyl, it was easy peasy, no problems. The puff, it actually went onto the hat. It didn't come off or anything at all. But I just don't see the puff, and I believe that's probably just the settings, because we did follow their settings. But you know, usually with puff, it's like a little bit of a rise to it. It's nothing like of a rise. I don't really see it. Unless I'm wrong, y'all let me know. I don't really see it. So right now I can't say if it is a A1 when it comes down to the puff vinyl. I can't really say that part. But for regular vinyl, it worked without a problem. You definitely got to use some tape. I don't care what these people tell you. Don't be no stingy with your tape. You better use a lot of tape, honey, okay? You better enjoy the heat transfer tape. You're going to need the heat transfer tape, okay? Do not be stingy, because that has to hold this on. You have to make sure it doesn't shift. And the biggest part is probably actually having a placement on there. Definitely doing 2 colors like I did. Making sure it's placed on there very even and nice. Now, as y'all see, this is how we had to press it. So we have the foam inside. This is the dome to actually cover your heat press. Not heat press, but hat press. This still is a heat press, but it's a hat heat press. This is the part that covers the hat heat press. And we had to put this on the dome. And this just help it sit up like it's on somebody's head, as you can see. It looks like it's on the head of somebody. You get what I'm saying? So you need that to just push down and have the firm pressure that you need for it. Now, my opinions of it. Like I told you guys, I believe this is a great machine. I don't have an issue like really with the machine, but I just don't know. And that's how I feel. I just don't know. I wouldn't say like if you're going to do hats, get this machine, like this is for you. I would not tell you that, because I just feel like when it comes down to the having to like really do your pressure of your arm and everything, my arm was hurting after doing these two. Just like I'm standing right there really, I feel like it was an exercise for me, and it's just like, okay, I don't know about that. Like, it's very cool, and I love the idea that this is like mobile and I can move around and I could take this somewhere, and I think that's the part that actually is the best part about it. I don't have to take my big old hat press with me. Literally, I don't have to take that big old thing with me because it's too heavy to actually take with me. And it is, you know, a little bit more expensive when it comes down to actually buying the hat presses. You are looking at $200 to $300. Sometimes you could spend $1,000 on there, like depending on the details and the features that you want in your hat press. But I do think by being mobile is freaking cool, because I could like go around and move around. Or if I'm going on vacation, I got some orders and I want to do this while I'm on vacation to help me get this out because I got a deadline. Or if I'm going to Miami, somebody in Miami and they need it, I think that is actually cool. And also if you got craft fairs, marketplaces, it probably is a good idea to have this in your business, because that way as you're on the go, you could be working as on the go, and you have to take these large machines with you. But for a business that's in home and just running this machine as your only hat press and actually working on orders with this, I don't know about that. I feel like after 2 to 3 hats, you're tired, versus if you have a hat press, you're knocking them out because you're placing it on there, pressing it down and going about your day. You get what I'm saying? So to me, I guess it just depends on what you're going to use it for. I definitely believe the machine is a good machine and is definitely worth it, but make sure it's worth it for what you need it for. So it's good and it's worth it. But for me, like for example, if I had to sit here and say, okay, I'm gonna go buy this machine, like I'm gonna go out and buy it right now, I wouldn't do it, because guess what? I don't need it. I'm at home. I have a hat press that I think would get more hats out versus doing a hat. Like if I have a hat every now and then I think yes. But if I have somebody that needs 30 hats by tomorrow or something, I won't dare use that handheld hat press, okay? I'm going to be in here broken armed over here, okay? I'm not going to do that. So I guess it's just good for what you're going to use it for. That's the question. If you're using it to go to marketplaces, out and about, yes. If you don't have a hat press and you can't afford a hat press at the time, a real hat press, then yes, this is actually a very good machine that will work for you after you learn your settings for certain things, because it takes time to learn settings. Like, we're not going to sit here and say the puff is horrible, it did not work, so don't buy this machine. I'm not going to sit here and say that to you guys. I will not say that to you guys, because guess what? Puff do not work that well when you're doing it on a regular heat press. Sometimes it doesn't puff because the settings are off. With this, I think it's going to come down to learning how to actually use your arm to do the amount of pressure it needs, and not doing too much pressure where you actually like swishing it in. And for me, I think I probably pushed it in too much, that the pressure, like, it made it sink into the head versus that puff coming out. So I wouldn't say that it is horrible with a puff, because I think it takes time to actually learn your settings for the puff vinyl on this machine. Okay, now the question is, are you guys interested in this? Will you buy it? Do you think this is something that you need in your business? What are you going to use it for? Those are the questions that you need to ask yourself. Are you going to use it inside your home and your business and do multiple hats? Are you looking at this to be doing 500 hats and really running a hat business? Or are you looking at this to be out and about, if you as a craft, like a craft store or something like that, not craft store, craft event, or you are, you know, at a booth or something, you want to offer hats on the spot, because that is a smart idea. I would definitely say this is a machine for you, because you don't have to take that big old heat press with you or hat press with you. You could use this machine while you're on the go, just like you have the Cricut Easy Press or the HTV RONT Easy Press or whatever. If I think that's what it's called, heat press, the handheld heat press. I think those are smart for things like that. But if you're running a business and you already have a hair press, you may not need it. But if you are a beginner too, you may also work with it, because at the same time, I do think for a beginner, you definitely need to learn your settings for a lot of things, and it takes time to learn it. That I think that might actually be a very good item for you to actually get started and learn what you need to learn about HTV, puff, and all of that. So I hope that we could try sublimation hats next. I'm going to see if I can find a sublimation hat somewhere. If you guys got a link to one, let me know. I'm going to see if I can find some somewhere so we can test that out to see how sublimation works. Because sublimation, you need 400 degrees with medium to high pressure. That's my arm. That's going to hurt. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell so you don't miss another video, and you are interested in seeing what happens next with this hat press. Make sure you ring the bell so that way you can see when we are going to sublimate a hat and actually see how it works with that one. And we're going to try a couple other things. Rhinestones. Ooh, rhinestones on the hat. Oh, we gotta try that now. Let's see what works with some rhinestones on the hat. Let's see how that works, because that would be cute. Let's go ahead. And that's in today's video. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.